Awesome. Well, I am so excited. I'm thrilled that Sherri Hardeman is joining me. She's going to share a little bit about her experience as an It Works distributor and basically just help us in understanding what it's like to be in network marketing and some of her suggestions and tips and advice that she's going to give you from her experience. So, Sherri, if you will, just start out and tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay. First of all, I was a very, very reluctant, resistant potential. Because, Tina likes to remind me of that all the time. But honestly, I had done other network marketing businesses. I really do believe in the industry. I think it's an amazing industry. And I know that people have done well that probably could never make the money that they're making any other way, right? But it just seemed like nothing was working for me. So when she approached Doug and I said no. And a matter of fact, I even said, I've tried it. It didn't work for me. And she's like, oh, you know, what happened? And I told her I gained an inch, which was really making me mad because I put on some weight. And I was really upset about it. She said, oh, it was just bloat, you know, did you measure the next day? And I'm like, no. And she said, it was just bloat. You probably lost and you didn't even realize it because the bloat goes away and then you lose your inches. And so, I still wasn't impressed. So, but little did I know that my husband was going over to her booth. We were working a show at a car show ourselves, and he was asking lots of questions, and he was really impressed with the compensation. And he had done several companies as well, and he got it. And I'm so glad he did because I'm sitting here. But I really was resistant. And quick story, everybody thinks it's funny. I told my husband I would agree to be a loyal customer, order the greens, get a box of wraps. I would give it a fair try. And so I went to get a haircut one day. And when I come home, I said, well, are we Tina's customer? And he said, well, sort of. And I said, what did you do? And he said, well, you're a distributor now. And I'm like, me? Why didn't you sign your stuff up? But the rest is history. It's been about 5.5 years. And I'm double diamond, going triple soon, working on that. And it's been a wonderful journey, just like you. I would not have met you otherwise. You know, I love the business. I love it because of the friendships, the relationships. And yeah, I get to stay at home. I work today while taking down my Christmas tree. Who does that? Right?
Beautiful thing. So the next question you've basically already answered. You were approached by your friend Tina Hatcliffe, and even though you were reluctant to it, I guess my question is, how were you introduced? Did she approach you about hosting a party, or how specifically were you introduced to the business by her?
Well, my husband and I worked for a company, and we traveled, and we met Tina. I didn't know her before. We met her at a show. She had a booth, we had a booth, and she just came over and introduced herself. She was out prospecting, you know? Yeah. And she was very sweet and bubbly, you know, Tina, she's always the same. But I kept going, shoot, go away, you know, that kind of thing. But she was actually out blitzing. She was prospecting. She was looking for some new potentials, and she saw the gleam in my husband's eye about this business, and and she talked to him, not me, after a while, because I just wasn't interested.
And the rest is history. So that's very interesting. I actually didn't know that part of your story, that you guys had actually met at an event.
Yes.
She was prospecting other vendors.
That's correct. And she does it very well.
Yes, she does. She's amazing.
Yeah.
So my next question for you is, as you started the business and as you started growing, what was that turning point for you where you went from, oh, this is, you know, a product that I'm enjoying, to it being this is a career potential for me? What was that turning point for you?
Well, I have to say I got my products in, and he did order the wraps and the greens and sign me up. But anyway, I went ahead and tried a wrap and I saw no results. And I told him, I said, I cannot endorse something that I don't believe in. I just can't. I feel like you're a liar and I just can't do it. And I thought, well, I need to keep trying. So on my third wrap, I did see a lot of results. So much so, and I know we don't measure now, but so much so at those days we did. I went back and measured 3 times because I thought it was not real. And it was real. So that kind of helped my belief system. And I had been sick a lot with like a chronic fatigue from thyroid condition. And when I was taking the greens on a regular basis, I was seeing a difference. Like about 2 weeks for me, I started having energy I hadn't seen in a long, long time. So then my belief was getting a little better. And I was really busy working for another company who was very time consuming. And I knew I couldn't give it a lot of time. But in February, and we signed up in August, and in the following February, we had been going to 2 or 3 meetings. We would drive 2.5 hours to come to a meeting. Yeah. And I don't know, the light did come on. I did have 2 friends that joined right away. And I got the executive like in 4 or 5 months. That's not exactly earth shattering or anything, but I honestly I still didn't believe it was going to work for me because nothing else had, So in February, though, I told my husband, I said, we have an anniversary date. We will be in August it'll be a year. And I felt like if we couldn't be diamond by then, because I was going to the meetings and learning what all this meant, I said, then we don't need to do this, which was dumb at the time. But, and so we went to work. And honestly, guys, you've got to get out there and I was just telling someone yesterday, you've got to expose yourself to people and let them see you belly to belly and get to meet them. And so what I did a show. I met a girl who took off with it, and the rest is kind of history, because you've got to have someone that's going to work with you. And the only way you're going to get that is to go out there and find them and meet them.
I love it. So what I heard from that story was that something changed for you in the fact that you saw an anniversary, a 1 year, and you had been doing what you thought you should have been doing. You had promoted already, you were going to the meetings, and you saw that and you were like, well, I need to be a diamond at that point, or I'm really not legitimately working this business and it's not going to turn into much. So for me, that was a mindset change for you.
It really was. It really, truly was. And I knew the time of year coming up, there was going to be a great deal of travel for me again. And I'm a homebody. I love being home. And that's why I love working from home a lot too. But I really like being at home. And the idea of traveling, going 3, 4, 5 weeks at a time was not appealing to me at all. And I thought, you know what? I'm seeing other people. This is working for people. And I was seeing all walks of life is working for, it's the short, tall, the thin, not so thin, that kind of thing. And I thought, and I'm talking all professions. I can do this. I can do this. And I made up my mind. And when I made up my mind, I went diamond in 4 months when I made up my mind.
Isn't that so amazing that when you combine a belief with a mindset, you had that mindset that was your goal, and then combine that with the belief. And that was something that really triggered for me after I went to conference my first time. I also joined in August, and then went to conference in January, and I'm in the elevator with all of these people from all different walks of life, who were double and triple and presidential and ambassador. And I'm going to be honest, I did the same thing you did. I said, if they can do it, it instills that belief. And I wish I could say that I went diamond. I didn't have that same mindset and I didn't have that same belief. But that came the next conference, everybody has their own story. And that was one of the things that I wanted to get from these interviews, is everybody has their own story. So it's interesting in this industry. There's kind of a mindset about network marketing, and you'd probably agree with me on this,
Yes.
that network marketing is for those women who want to do something on the side so they can have more friends and have parties or get the products at a cheaper price. But, they just sell to their friends in their warm market. But people who want to take this a little further and they want to maybe to potentially stay home and make this a career, they're eventually going to run out of that warm market. So what was something that you did when you ran out of that quote unquote warm market?
Well, before Facebook really took off, because I wasn't all about Facebook at first, I honestly went out and blitzed. I would put on my It Works attire and bling, and I would go and start up a conversation with a total stranger. And I looked at standing in line as an opportunity instead of a delay. Yeah, because you'll have someone that's running around with a couple of children, and you can make a comment about how cute they are, and boy, that just makes mommy's beam. And or they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're standing in this line. I know. And then one thing after another, somehow the color of what you got on comes up, or and you make conversation. And if we go out to eat and I like the waitress or waiter, they get a blitz card because they were people persons. Obviously they were friendly and helpful, and I'll go, I love your personality. I would love for you to be on my team. What do you do? I do the same thing at sales clerks, cashiers, wherever I go. But sometimes I intentionally go out just to blitz. But then a lot of times I found I'm very successful, and maybe more successful, if I just actually just put it into my day when I'm running errands and that kind of thing. I honestly think I do better than when I'm so intentional with that, because it becomes second nature,
We call it living the blitz.
Yeah, that's right. And it's fun.
It is. And one thing I want to ask you, though, because a lot of people will start and they'll do that. They'll make that first step and they'll do the blitz and they'll get contact information and things fizzle out from there. What is something that you do to take and turn that blitz into either a customer or a distributor?
Well, I a couple of things I like to do is I'll ask them if I can send them a video, and that's one way I'll get their contact information. Oftentimes I'll hand them my phone and let them put it in for me. And that's kind of fun because they seem real comfortable because, they're just zip, 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 and they'll do that. Well, then I'll say something like, I'm not going to bug you, but I want to send you this video. And if it's not a problem, I'm going to get back with you and see what you liked best.
I love
it. You never say, what do you think? You say, what did you like best? Always. And that's one way I do that. And the thing is, I have found when you go to these shows and you do like a drawing for a free wrap, that kind of thing, and you'll get all these leads. And that was the whole purpose. And then I hear it over and over and over. They don't follow up with the leads. Follow up with the lead and tell them you didn't win, but you got a $5 discount. You didn't win, but, blah, 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 or whatever. Because, it either checks off you want to know more about the wrap or you'd like to have a party. You've got to follow up. And I know that's part of the problem a lot of people have. They have the leads in their hands, but they're not following up.
That's so good. So you may have already answered my next question, but network marketing is unique.
Yes.
It's different from any other industry out there. And so a lot of people come into it with their previous mentality of how to do business from their own previous experiences. But that doesn't always translate very well. So what is a tip from you on how to be successful in network marketing?
Well, most people don't like to be sold. So don't sell, share. And if you are truly using the product, there's something you're excited about. You may not care about the wrap, but you're crazy about the skincare line. You may be crazy about the greens or, whatever product it is. Find your passion and share, but don't try to sell. And listen for, I always listen. I've got little radars on, and I'm listening to oh, if I could just make another 500 a month, it would make such a difference. Or I hate my job. I want to stay home with my kids. I've always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I'd like to retire my husband. He hates his job. Whatever it is, you always have your radar out there listening because people are talking. And with network marketing, you have to always be on. You've just always got to be on. And go out there and smile at everybody, even if you're in a bad mood. And you do have to take on a different attitude. When you are in network marketing business, you're going to get a lot of no's because people think you're crazy. Okay, they think that if it's not, a brick and mortar building, it can't be real. Those kind of things. But those same people that's like, yeah, whatever, are watching you. And I have people even now when I go back home where I'm from, they're like, are you still doing that thing? I am. How long have you been doing that? Oh, over 5 years now. So now they're like, oh, she's been in that a lot. There's something to it. It wasn't just a trend or a fad or something like that. So, but you have to have a different mindset with network marketing. You have to get a tough skin and not let people steal your dream, and not let the negative people, the negative Nellies, I call them, or the naysayers, say those things that will bring you down because they just don't know. So you do have to have a different mindset in the business. But just know this, it's probably depending on what you do for a living. But my bet is there's no profession that most of us are that's listening on here today who can make the income that is out there for us with what we do.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, both of us as Double Diamonds, we know how pretty those checks are. And I know for me personally, what I was able to do in 2 years in network marketing, I still was not at that level in my teaching career after 9 years.
Wow.
And then 9 years of education on top of that. So I have a bachelor's and 2 masters teaching 9 years and still not making the kind of money that I'm making with network marketing.
Exactly. And you have freedom that you never have, otherwise.
Absolutely. I think one thing that you said that was so important was you have to treat it differently. You can't be in that coin operator mindset of 9 to 5. You go to work and you shut it off when you're done. I've always considered my mouth like one of those neon open signs. So if I'm talking about my business, or if, like you said, your little radar, if you are listening for people, especially, this is one of the big keys on social media, is if you're listening out for people who are talking about being sick, or they want to look younger, or they don't, like their skincare regimen or longer hair. We literally have something for everyone.
Yes.
So it's just a different mindset of being, like you said, being on, but you're not nearly working as hard. You're not going and working 8, 10, 12, sometimes 16 hours like many people are, and then shut it off. But you're not working as many hours.
No. Right. And yeah, I was just thinking today, because I took down the tree. My husband decided to clean out the garage, so there were containers I needed to go through. And I'm like, I think I want to go back to work, my job. It's harder. My job's a lot easier. But, honestly, it's not hard labor. And if you can find the joy that comes with this, the joy of meeting new people, making new friends, changing lives, whether it's a potential customer that is sick all the time, and every time there's a bug, they pick it up. And 6 months later, after they've become your customer and they tell you, I'm not sick anymore, I feel good, those kind of things. Or you hear a story from one of your team that, they got a raise in their paycheck and it made all the difference in the world for their month, or those kind of things. I told someone the other day, quit looking at, she's kind of where we're talking about trying to get to Diamond. And she says, I don't know. And she's all nervous. And I said, you work on getting your team promoted and you'll promote. So you take your eye off yourself and you help those people build that emerald, build that ruby, that kind of thing, it becomes more of, well, just very rewarding, really, really rewarding.
It does.
It makes me smile.
And it is, you obviously enter into this business because you want to make money, right? Let's just be honest. You want the extra $500 a month, or you want to pay for daycare, or you want to put some money away so you can go on a trip. Everybody starts obviously for the money. But the longer that you're in it, you just fall in love with what we do. You fall in love with, like what you said, of helping people, or sharing that possibility of life-changing opportunities for people. And it becomes so much more than just selling and making money.
It does. It really does. And I have learned something, and this might be tough words here. I'll say it anyway. Sometimes there's going to be people you can't help. Okay. And you want it for them so bad. It's just not their time. You know what? It wasn't my time. I joined in August. I piddled is what I call it. I piddled. And in February, the light came on. My mindset changed. And sometimes it takes a few months. It may take a year or two, but love on them anyway. Be there for them when they're ready and encourage them. But, I've tried to help some people more than they help themselves, and that sometimes it just doesn't work that way, and you'll find yourself taking it personal, and it's not. They're just not ready, and they don't get it. If a person doesn't really get the vision, they don't truly get it, and you just try to help them see that. You help inspire them and let them watch you grow, and then they'll want more of that, but don't be too tough on them.
I think that's so powerful what you just said, because especially if you're a yellow, any of us, and we'll talk about what that means in just a second, but any of us who are lifers in this just want people to see it like we see it. And we bang our head against the wall because someone doesn't quite get it. And then somehow we let that bounce back, almost like a reverberal bounce back, coming back and hitting us, and we absorb that.
Yes.
That mindset and that mentality, and we allow for it to drag us down. And I love what you just said, that you just have to let it go. Still try to inspire them, but you just have to realize not everybody's going to get it the way that we get it.
No. Not everyone truly can be a visionary. It's like not everyone's like Mark Pentecost, who had the vision and the drive to do it. And then there'll be honestly, there's some people who are happy being a ruby, being an emerald, being a diamond, and that's okay. It really is. And then there's some people that's just going to quit, and that's okay too. I'm sorry for them because I know what they have their hands on, but it's just, they're just not ready. And you just have to love on them, but not everyone gets that vision, but boy, the ones who do.
Right, absolutely. I want to change pace just a little bit and talk about the industry itself. All of us, once we graduate high school, or once we're in high school, we all understand that anything that we're going to do in life, we're going to have an education to do. Well, I guess not everybody gets that, but that's the understanding that if you want to be a doctor, you've got to go to college. If you want to be a mechanic, you've got to go back to vocational school. And I think every other industry has that mindset going into it, except for this one. I think a lot of people enter into network marketing because sometimes I think it's sold like that it's easy, that it's simple, that anybody can do it. And so we kind of underestimate what goes into being a network marketer. So with that being said, we do have to educate ourselves. And I will never forget the first couple of books that I read and the impact that it ended up having on me. So my question to you is, what is one question that you would recommend to someone who's starting out? And what is one book that you would recommend to someone who is stuck at a plateau or stuck in a rut? They've been successful, and then all of a sudden it seems like they're hitting a brick wall.
Well, if you are really a driven personality, I'm not sure I'm answering you right, but and sometimes some people love this, some people don't. But GoPro.
It's the first book I read.
I love this book. It's a wonderful book for you to get started with. I'll also, if I can interject on that, after you've read GoPro and you're working the business a bit, it's, I don't think there's a book, but Jim Rohn, trying to think of the CD I'm talking about. Oh, it says something. I'll have to get back to you on that, but it's really good for you to listen to because after you've had a few no's, you need to hear this CD. Okay. And it's something about your business, but right this minute I went blank. I hate it when I do that. But it's a good one to listen to. And then, one that you want to kind of, I think it's a little short, really thin book called Go for No. That's a really good book to remind you that you're going to be told no, but no doesn't really mean no most of the time. It just means not now. And also, a lot of times, no also doesn't mean, never. It just means, a lot of times they don't even know what you're asking them. They have no idea what you're offering them, right? So they just say no. But another book that's really good, I wrote it down because I couldn't find mine. What to say when you talk to yourself. Because it's, we say a lot of negative stuff to ourselves when we're in the funk. And that's another thing, by the way. Mike Patello has you can get online and listen to it on YouTube. It's called Jump the Funk. It's awesome. So, and he'll tell you that everyone gets in the funk after they've been in it a few months. And he actually made a comment somewhere along the way that, if you're not in the funk, it's coming because it happens to all of us. And so that's a good one. And, I read a lot of stuff. I read I like this one. You can see it.
Yes.
Okay. Be a network marketer superstar. And then I do enjoy positive, motivational, spiritual from good old Joel Osteen. I know some people tease and make fun of him because he's always smiling, but I don't care. I'm reading this one right now, and it is so good.
Yeah.
Because it's positive. We're feeding our mind positive. And honestly, I'm to the point now when people start talking really negative, I'm like, I want to run. I feel like I'm smothering to death or something. And this I am is so good. The power of I am is I am beautiful. I am prosperous. I am smart. I am a good mother. I am whatever, and there's all kinds of I ams. And you need to fill your head with that. And see, the thing people don't realize is when you fill your head with all the positive things, there's not room for the yucky stuff. There's no space there. So that's this is really good. Okay. Yep. It's a good one. You can see I read books. I do. I like to fill my head with lots of good stuff. But, and there's also one, is it No Excuse by Wayne Dyer? It's one that, I guess it might have been his last book he wrote. Really, really good. So I don't know if that's helpful or not. And I wish I could remember where my Jim Rohn CD is. I would tell you, it's really a good one for everyone to listen to. And I believe
Google it. What would they Google?
Jim Rohn, just Jim, probably, and I know it's on Amazon too. And I don't know now because I haven't looked back there lately. But in the academy, where they have the things where you can order like John Maxwell and things like that, it was back there.
Okay.
So, I was trying to think before I laid that CD because I just had it out, but I shouldn't have brought it up because I can't give you the title. That's terrible.
You can Google Jim Rohn and then start going through it. I want to change again the question. We talk a lot about colors in It Works.
Right.
So people might hear, oh, I'm a red, I'm a blue, I'm a yellow, I'm a green, or man, I'm red and blue. And so we hear those words a lot and we talk about them. And we all understand what, if you've done the test, what that means. Red, you're driven, you're money focused, you are one who's, kind of just a straight and narrow, you just go. Blue, you're all about having fun and the party and just loving life. Yellow is hugs and kisses and butterflies, and that's the what I love helping people and love sharing. And then the green, of course, is someone who's very knowledge driven. They want to know all the details. So my question to you is, knowing and understanding the color personalities, one, I'd like to know what color you are. And then secondly, how have you catered your leadership style with the understanding of those color personalities?
Well, it's really important to know what personalities you're dealing with. And I am a yellow, which everybody likes to tease me about, but I am. But I'm less yellow than I was. I've gotten more red, so now I guess I'm orange. But anyway, yeah, I think I've always been a yellow, I'm sure, looking back. But it is really important. Let me just refer to my real estate days. When I was a realtor for 10 years. And every time you put a new client in the car, you changed hats. You changed hats because there might be a different culture, different income bracket, just a variety of things. And personality-wise, they might be real high energy or they might not talk at all. So you had to pick up on their personality so you could relate to them and, bond with them and kind of you build a bit of a relationship with them. And I kind of make a joke that if I'm out blitzing someone and they look at the card and they go, party, oh my gosh, a party, then can I have a party? Well, yeah, they're blue. They want to have fun, right? Red is, yeah, right. Red is like they're going to, they're looking at it and go, can I make any money? That's red. And then yellow's like, oh, I could help so many people. And of course, green is what's in it.
Right.
I mean, honestly, those are kind of, so you kind of, but it really is helpful for you to understand what the colors mean so that you can be less of that yellow maybe. Like me, I have to be less yellow. And when someone is really green, because I could care less about details, I'm kind of struggling with that sometimes because I don't care. I just don't care. So I've had to learn to have take time and get more knowledgeable in maybe ingredients or something, just to have a bit of a conversation with them. But I don't really care what's in it. That's just me.
And how do you deal differently with your team, knowing what color personality they are?
Well, that's a good question and it really does. It's very important. I have a lot of yellows on my team, and I know that I can't talk to them, too tough. Even if they're calling me, knowing that I need to probably give them a swift kick. I had one tell me that I need to get on her butt, is what she said. I said, well, I would never do that, And but you need to be able to understand and relate to where they're coming from. And if they're a yellow personality, someone may have hurt their feelings, easily, or and here's what they'll say: "What am I doing wrong?" They take on that demeanor, like, "What am I doing wrong?" That kind of thing. But if you recognize the personality that they are, you'll get on that same color level that they are, and you can help them a lot more. Being one-on-one is really important when you're talking with your team one-on-one. It's great to do your team calls and like what we're doing today, but I also take a lot of time with the ones that want me. It's a squeaky wheel for me because I'm busy. But if you want my attention, you get my attention.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I want to wrap things up by asking you one last question. Network marketing and being successful in network marketing takes some understanding of the industry. And I was thinking about this today, that I've never known a company in the industry where more people are successful than in It Works.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I have never, I obviously know more people in It Works, but going through college and I was exposed through all those different companies.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people I knew weren't successful. If you wanted to define success by the amount of money that they were making or the size of the team that they were building,
mm-hmm.
however you define success. but there's something about It Works where it seems more obtainable to more people. So my question to you is, what is one thing that you have found that helps you define success in this industry and in this company?
That helps me define success?
No, to find.
To find success. Oh.
Like, what does it take to be successful in this industry?
I just feel like first you do need to be a people person. You've got to, I think, and but to be successful in this business, the biggest thing, it's a big secret. You can't quit. Your journey is your own. And it's just like, I should be, I think, higher up than I am. I'm grateful for where I'm at because I don't have to work a real job, but I'm a lifer, as you said. We're lifers. And the biggest thing with our industry is you need to be proud. You need to be proud of the company, the products, the integrity that we have. If you walk around and position yourself with that kind of confidence, it is going to radiate within or without, and people are going to feel that. And passion, you've got to have the passion about the products that you're selling. You have to have a passion about even your leadership. You have to have a passion. Like, we're all very proud of Mark and Pam. We're proud to be a part of that. And, I very proudly will say I'm with It Works. I don't apologize because I'm a network marketer. And I feel like I'm doing something that is really life-changing and will change the world if enough people will get involved. We can be world changers here, not just one little life here and there, but a lot of people's lives. All the stories that we hear when we go to conference and green carpet are amazing to me. People living in their cars, people with their electricity, wondering if it's going to be turned off today. And they're on stage for a reason. They're usually presidential or ambassador, and they don't have to worry about that anymore, And so you got to take on that attitude of pride and passion and drive, determination to never quit, because somewhere down the way, if you really do work the business, I always say it works if you do.
Oh, that's so good. So good. Well, Sherri, thank you so much. I have had the distinct pleasure of getting to know you, especially this year, because we were able to travel together and be at retreats together, and you are such a blessing in my life. And thank you so much for taking the time to get on and do this interview with me. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. I was quite honored I got that call.
You're one of the first people I thought of.
Oh, that's precious.
Thank you so much, Sherri. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, bye.